Brave New World. Does Mr. Anderson think I'm really gonna read this book? Spark Notes. Famous quotes. Oh, brave new world that has such people in it. Brave New World. John the Savage, I understand that these people are different from you, but what do you mean? What does all of this mean? The Tempest? What is the Tempest? Mr. Anderson, I thought the quiz was on Brave New World tomorrow. Why would I read the Tempest? Oh, Brave New World, help me to understand all of this for the quiz tomorrow. Who are you?
Aye, matey. Is that the Tempest in your hand?
What? No, I'm reading Brave New World. I don't really know what's going on. Who are you?
Oh, child, there is much to learn. My name is Prospero, and I will teach you all about the Tempest and Brave New World. There are many parallels to these books. You will soon ace your quiz after reading this short tale.
The quiz is tomorrow.
Well, lucky for you, I have between 15 and 20 minutes. To get you started, we first need to learn about my creator.
How are we going to do that?
Lucky for you, I have magical powers that will get you in the right Shakespeare state of mind.
What is this?
Are you ready?
Sure. Where are we?
We're in your mind, Hannah.
How do you know my name?
I know everything.
So, who's this Shakespeare guy anyways?
Oh, now you're getting in the Shakespeare spirit. It must be the shirt. I can tell you a lot about this awesome man. Well, Shakespeare was born on April 23rd, 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon as John and Mary Shakespeare's oldest child.
Well, did he have to go to school?
Oh yeah, but he didn't take college English. He attended Stratford Grammar School until age 15, where he learned Latin, memorization, writing, and even acting in Latin plays.
Wow, I guess I'm lucky I'm in college English. Well, did he meet any girls?
Oh yeah, Shakespeare was quite the ladies' man. In 1582, William Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway. Their first...
Oh my gosh, Anne Hathaway. I know who she is. She's in Ella Enchanted. I love that movie.
No, you don't. This is a different Anne Hathaway. Their first child was Susanna. Rumor has it that they had the baby, the bun in the oven, before they got married.
Ooh, scandalous.
Yeah, the couple then had a set of twins named Judith and Hamnet, completing the family.
And how did they deal with Shakespeare working and dealing with his family at the same time?
Well, I guess you could call him Father of the Year, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. He worked in a London theater while Anne and the children lived in Stratford.
And what about the descendants of Shakespeare? Are there any of those?
Well, Judith ended up marrying a Vintner, leaving no direct descendants of Shakespeare. Pretty spooky. Shakespeare had multiple roles in the London theater as an actor, playwright, and in time a business partner in a major acting company called the Lord's Chamberlain Men.
Oh, I think I've heard of that before.
Yeah, he gradually became a more prominent figure in the London theater world. His name, that was not even listed on his first plays, became that of a renowned playwright.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I think I know something about Shakespeare, but
I know what you're saying. Yes, he did die on his birthday. He died on April 23rd, 1616. He ended up writing 37 plays before his death. And, well, 2 technically are lost, so he ended up writing 39 or 40 of them.
How do you know all of this?
Well, historians cannot prove all these facts to be correct, but have come to an agreement that Shakespeare's life can be outlined by this timeline.
Whoa, that was a lot of information. I think I'm ready for my quiz tomorrow.
No, we still have a lot to learn about the Tempest. So let's hear a little bit about the Tempest, shall we?
The Tempest? Oh yeah, that book you threw at me.
Yeah, well, get over it. The Tempest was written in the early 1600s, specifically between 1610 and 1611.
The 1600s? Wasn't that during the Elizabethan era?
Oh yeah, there was a strong demand for entertainment during that era, and that prompted Shakespeare to write The Tempest. It was performed at the court by the King's men in the fall of 1611. Then it was later performed another time in the winter of 1612 to 1613 to commemorate the marriage of King James's daughter Elizabeth. The Tempest is actually said to be the last play ever written by Shakespeare. It may even be considered his farewell to the theater. The plot of The Tempest is known to be one of his original works, along with his play Love's Labour's Lost.
Shakespeare's written a ton of plays. Why does this one matter?
Well, the play is unique because there was little on-stage scenery and limited artificial lighting. A lot of the play was left up to the audience's imagination.
Please stop.
Some historians state that the island used in The Tempest was based off the Bermudas. Montague's essay of Cannibalists helped contribute to the plot of The Tempest. The name Caliban, which you'll read about in the play, is an anagram of cannibal. I will now use my magical powers to make you an expert on The Tempest plotline. So, Hannah, tell me about The Tempest plotline.
Prospero and his daughter Miranda inhabit an unknown island. Prospero, who is considered the protagonist of the play, was the former Duke of Milan until betrayal occurred within the family. Prospero has magical powers, which leads him to create a storm while his brother, Antonio, is sailing at sea. Prospero brings his brother and his brother's shipmates to the island because he wants revenge since Antonio stole Prospero's dukedom.
Prospero also has a captive spirit, Ariel, who serves as Prospero's servant. Prospero controls Ariel completely because he saved Ariel from a long imprisonment in a tree. Prospero promises to free Ariel once he has completed all of Prospero's vengeful orders. A man who was aboard Antonio's ship named Ferdinand sees Miranda after being washed up on the island. The two fall in love at first sight. Prospero, seeing this, is hesitant at first.
The selection to be performed is from Act 1, Scene 2. Ferdinand has just came across Miranda and Prospero. Miranda cannot believe her eyes, for she has never seen such a man like him. Prospero, acting like any father would, first has doubts about Ferdinand. The dialogue will be between Miranda and Prospero, with Ferdinand's lines omitted. However, he will be represented as the chair. Miranda, played by Hannah, begs her father not to judge Ferdinand harshly, and Prospero, played by Theresa, eventually accepts Ferdinand when he realizes that he can use Ferdinand in his scheme to get revenge on his brother Antonio.
The fringed curtains of thine eyes advance, and say what thou seest yond.
Is it a spirit? Oh Lord, how it looks about! Believe me, sir, it carries a brave form, but 'tis a spirit.
No, wench, it eats and sleeps and has such senses as we have such. This gallant which thou seest was in the rack. but he's something stained with grief that's beauty's canker. Thou mightst call him a goodly person. He hath lost his fellows, and strays about to find them.
I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
It goes on, I see. As my soul prompts it, spirit, fine spirit, I will free thee within 2 days for this.
Oh, dear father, make not too rash a trial of him, for he is gentle, not fearful.
What I say? My foot, my tutor, put up thy sword, traitor, who makes a show but darest not strike. Thy conscience is so possessed with guilt. Come from thy ward, for I can here disarm thee with this stick and make thy weapon drop.
Beseech you, father.
Hence, hang not on my garments.
Sir, have pity, for I will be his surly.
Silence. One word more shall make me chide thee, if not hate thee. What, an advocate for an impostor? Hush. Thou think'st there is no such more shapes than he, having not seen but him in Caliban. Foolish wench. To the most of men, this is a Caliban, and they to him are angels.
My affections are then most humble, for I have no ambition to see a goodlier man. Prospero then decides to use this love affair to his advantage. He plans to use the love of Miranda and Ferdinand as a way to get revenge on Antonio and Antonio's men. With the help of Ariel, Prospero has separated and grouped Antonio and his men around the island. At the end of the play, Antonio and his men are reunited but are placed under a spell. Under this spell, Prospero chides some of the men for their past treachery.
When the spell is lifted, Antonio and his men see Prospero dressed in his garments from when he was the Duke of Milan. There is reconciliation, and it is promised that Ferdinand, Miranda, and Prospero will leave the island and settle into their lives on land. Ferdinand and Miranda will be married, and Prospero will return to his rule of Milan. Ariel is eventually freed, and the play comes to an end. The play concludes with Prospero declaring that he will be set free of his own crimes when the audience applauds.
Act 1, Scene 2 is a very significant part of the play because Miranda sees Ferdinand for the first time and falls in love at first sight. This essentially sparks the action and the plot of The Tempest. Prospero decides to use Ferdinand and Miranda to get back at his brother Antonio, but Prospero truly wants Miranda to be happy with Ferdinand at the same time. The love interest between Miranda and Ferdinand sets up all of the aspects and themes that make The Tempest a classic Shakespearean play. One major theme expressed in the short section that was acted out is perception versus reality. Miranda has only seen 2 men in her lifetime, her elderly father and Caliban, who is her father's imprisoned servant. The first time she sees Ferdinand, she is amazed and immediately develops an interest in him. She thinks he is the perfect man, but she may only think this because she has not been exposed to other men or humans in general. Miranda's perception is that every man is like her dad or Caliban, but in reality there are many types of people in the world, and she is overwhelmed by this. Her seclusion on the island results in her naivete about reality. Oh, perception versus reality. I see the relation now. In Brave New World, John the Savage is so secluded from the rest of society. When he meets everyone, he's so overwhelmed and surprised. That's just like Miranda in The Tempest. John the Savage equals Miranda. I understand now.
Prospero's plan to use Ferdinand to take back the crown that his brother stole also plays into the theme of revenge. In the play Hamlet, Hamlet plans to kill his stepfather just like Prospero plans to get back at his brother. This is also seen in Romeo and Juliet when Mercutio is killed by Tybalt. Romeo then kills Tybalt out of revenge, which complicates everything. Shakespeare uses the theme of revenge to captivate his audience and add intensity to the plot.
So, what does everybody else think about The Tempest?
Oh, that reminds me. Do you want to see an interview I had with my best friend, Harold Bloom?
I'd love to.
I am here with Shakespeare expert and literary critic Harold Bloom. So Harold Bloom, tell us what you thought of The Tempest.
Personally, I think The Tempest is fundamentally plotless. Along with A Midsummer's Night Dream, it is one of the worst interpreted and performed plays of all of Shakespeare's works.
Oh my! Do you have anything good to say about the Shakespeare The Tempest?
Well, sure. The only real literary source of this play is found in Montague's essay on cannibals, which is echoed through Caliban.
Oh, I guess you could call that something good to say.
You can quote me when I say this. The Tempest is neither a discourse on colonialism or a mystical testament.
Any other thoughts?
The Tempest is more of a wild, experimental comedy instead of a play of substance.
We both agreed that The Tempest was decent but mediocre. There were a few different scenarios occurring concomitantly throughout the play, and it was satisfying to see how all the characters came together in an inevitable end. There was comic relief with the use of asides, puns, and similes.
It was not too difficult to follow the plotline and the actions of the characters. It was both a romantic but funny play, with drama occurring periodically. We did not favor the ending. We thought that everything just sort of plateaued, and it was actually rather boring.
We agree with Harold Bloom in that the play did not have much substance to it. It was more entertaining than it was profound or educational. With being one of his last plays that he wrote, Shakespeare could have been a bit more prophetic.
While this play was entertaining, it lacked intensity, which could have made it more impactful to the audience. The light-hearted nature of the play caused it to be easily forgotten amongst his other works. Compared to some of Shakespeare's other works, like Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, and Hamlet, which we have read in high school in English class, The Tempest has a generally happy ending and is considered a comedy. It also lacks intensity like the rest of these plays. Wow, thanks, Prospero. That was even better than Spark Notes.
Do you know what's even better than me and Spark Notes?
What?
Actually reading the book.
Ah!